Hello and welcome to Meet Our Makers, an artist interview podcast produced in association with Beats Per Minute. I'm your host, Jeremy J. Facette. On this episode, we get to meet Skye Edwards, who is the lead singer of the famed trip-hop band Morcheeba. In this chat, Skye and I discuss quite a bit about their newest Morcheeba record, Blackest Blue, which is the 10th album the group has released in their 25 years. We talk about what it means for her to still be doing this after so many years with Morcheeba, and we take a detour to look back at the origin of the group and the origin of its very first record, 25 years ago. We talk about her departure and eventual return to Morcheeba in the 2000s, as well as some of the accuracies and inaccuracies that the label trip-hop had when it was inevitably ascribed to their sound. We discuss her solo records, her somewhat recent tenure as the band's lead lyricist, as well as what's to come and how this past year has treated her. So please enjoy, and thank you for listening. This is me meeting Skye Edwards.
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock here, 10 p.m., so bedtime. But
Yeah, that's past my bedtime.
where are you and what time is it?
It is 5 o'clock here. I'm in Connecticut near New York.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We were very confused on the time zones, trying to figure out what time it would be there. So I'm glad you're here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. Thank you for agreeing to come on when it's so late.
All good.
So how have you been? I know the record's coming out soon, but how have you been these past few months?
Yeah, not too bad. The record's coming out May 14th, and we've shot a couple of videos, so that's kept us busy. The weather's getting a little bit better here as well, so that makes life just easier when there's a bit of sunshine in the sky and you can get out for walks and stuff. And my kids are back in school this last week, so yeah, can't complain.
That's good. Are they? I'm asking because I'm a teacher. Are they physically in school?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Okay. I'm always just curious about that.
Okay, yeah. So what's happening over your way then? Are the kids back in school? And
it depends on where you go. I think a lot of us are. We are. My school is. We were a little bit of both in the beginning of the year, kind of there and then home and then back and all that. All that fun switching. Mm-hmm. But we've been pretty consistent since November.
Excellent.
We still have students who are fully at home and they beam in from the internet,
right?
Which is great that we can do that. But yeah, I can't wait till we're just all able to be back.
Excellent, indeed.
Yeah, I don't know what it's like elsewhere in my neck of the woods, but in Connecticut, I know most of us, I think, are in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good that it hasn't been too bad. You're right. The weather's getting better. It's getting better here too. I mean, there's something about a winter in quarantine.
Oh,
it's not great.
Yeah. We had a mad day, maybe or just under a week ago. It was the first day of a semi-lockdown, so the bars were opening. Us being Brits, we just like to go to the pub. So on that day, we'd arranged to meet some friends and have a walk and go to the pub. And it was like heavy snow. It was crazy.
Oh, wow.
Heavy snow. And then, by midday, enough to build a snowman. And then by midday, it all disappeared. It's just like crazy.
I know, it's that weird in-between time. But I'm sure it was worth it to be out with friends for the first time probably in a while.
Absolutely.
How is I just genuinely don't know. How is the vaccination going in the UK?
It seems to be going really well. They're getting it.
Okay.
They're getting it out. They're sort of going down the ages. So we're in the sort of mid 40s now. So they started off, with the older and
Hmm.
vulnerable, and then So I'm kind of hanging in there. I'm going to be 49 in May.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I got my letter today.
Oh, fun. I know it's nice that it feels like we're kind of turning a corner.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
hope.
it's a weird feeling because we are, but then we still have so many restrictions. So it's like take the vaccine, but you're still not allowed to do this, and you're still not allowed to do that, and we've got to get
Hmm.
tested, and then traveling. I mean, then that's a whole other thing to deal with because we could be all vaccinated here in the UK, but then do you want to really go to other countries that maybe aren't in the same level? So
Hmm.
it's a weird.
I know. I mean, I remember towards the beginning of all of this last year, after that initial wave of thinking we were going to be good by summer, people kind of started saying, "Oh, I don't know if we'll be normal, quote unquote, until 2022."
Yeah,
And
that's
it felt so outlandish, but maybe that's going to really be true.
yeah, that's how I feel. 2022. So we've got some gigs on the calendar, which is nice. So
Mm.
we'll see if they happen. They're outdoor in the UK.
Hmm.
We've got a few in France and Spain. Not so hopeful about the ones where we need to fly, but certainly the ones in the UK, it feels like they could go ahead. But we'll see. We'll see.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers
I
crossed.
know international touring is going to be rough for a while, I think.
Mhm. Yeah,
So hopefully you guys can get out there a little bit,
yeah,
especially with the new record out or coming out.
yeah, exactly.
So we've been mentioning this new record, you and Ross Godfrey. Blackest Blue is the name of the new album. It comes out May 14th on Cartel. I hadn't realized this, but it's actually it's Morcheeba's 10th album,
It is. Yeah,
which is that's kind of such a nice number, Not everyone gets to get to that 10th album.
yeah,
How does
yeah.
it feel to still be able to make the music you want to make and put out Morcheeba albums?
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, somebody asked me this the other night, like so it's your 10th Morcheeba album. It's like, well, actually, it's not my 10th.
I know, I know.
Like 10,
I
that's a
know.
big deal. It's like, well, there was two that I wasn't on. But still here we are, 2021,
Hmm.
25 years we've been going, and it's just amazing. I feel like it's the best record that we've made. It's a cliche to say that it's always the best record you've made, but it feels really good. And the videos that we've made, that we've put out there, we've had a really good response to the first couple of singles that have been out, and so yeah, I'm excited for everyone to hear the rest of the album.
Yeah, from the singles, it sounds maybe a little bit moodier than a lot of the Morcheeba stuff, moodier, maybe a little bit more nighttimey, kind of moonlit is sort of the vibe that I get from a lot of those songs.
Yeah.
Um, what were some of the major sort of driving motivations or influences behind this one?
Um, I mean, I would say, family and, well, just everything really. I mean, as usual, just right from the heart, and sometimes don't even realize it until the end of it. It's like, oh shit, that song's about such and such. So, but there's been a bit of turmoil within the family and stuff, and which I won't go into too much detail, but
Hmm.
so it was just good to be able to get it out and write it down, and but then there's also moments of just bliss, in which was our first single, Sounds of Blue. It's just talking about my free diving experience that I had in Thailand, and songs about kinship, and then we've got a breakup song on there too, which is just beautiful. So, and then other tracks that are just like the end of the Edge of the World, which is lyrically open to interpretation.
Mm-hmm. Are you typically a very personal lyricist?
Yes, I think I am. It's just how I tend to write. I mean, but I haven't been the Morcheeba lyricist for that long. So
Okay.
It was Paul Godfrey, the older brother, that was the Morcheeba lyricist. And then he left the band 2014. And then we did a Skye Ross album whilst we were going through some stuff with Paul, and then we were able to call ourselves Morcheeba and brought out Blaze Away, and so that was my first time at writing lyrics for Morcheeba, but I've written lyrics for my 4 solo albums, so I've had a lot of practice.
Right. And then so you're now the primary lyricist of Morcheeba. So on past Morcheeba records where you weren't, did you come up with melodies or production ideas?
Melody, I was the melody maker.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What hand do you have in production now, or do you?
It's Ross. Ross is the producer.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm always curious how duos work.
The song could start with just an acoustic guitar or piano or drum beat, or just a semi-formed backing track, and then he'll email his idea, and then I'll stick on the headphones, go into it's my sewing room, which I have a microphone in there, and my husband Steve sits at the controls and hits record, and then I'll hum a melody, half singing a melody, half words, just throw the odd word in there, and then email that back to Ross, and if he likes the melody, then I'll listen over and over to the melody and try and write words to it. Or sometimes I've got words already that I've written for a poem, and I'll make that fit if it sort of works that way.
So you kind of it's sort of a natural evolutionary sort of process.
Mm-hmm.
So you did already sort of mention, but the debut Morcheeba album, Who Can You Trust, did come out 25 years ago, which I can imagine that must feel sort of odd. Does it feel like 25 years?
No, I mean, I had a sort of a drunken night one time, just as actually a few times we've had a few drunken Saturday evenings. We just sort of and we've discovered that the sound bar on the TV has got a really great it's great for listening to music. So we dim the lights and just through our little phone we'll play a different playlist, and we just put on the Who Can You Trust one night, and it's like, wow, it was just shit, we were really good. This kind of it didn't feel dated at all, but I'm biased obviously, but it felt really good to hear it. I don't usually sit and listen to to the Morcheeba albums in one sitting. If it comes on a when you've got your iTunes on random, but it was quite good to hear the whole album in its entirety.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you ever go back and listen to it. What do those songs like mean to you now? Does it feel any different when you listen to them now as opposed to back then?
I mean, it takes me back to the little flat that Ross and Paul had in North London, and recording in this tiny little bedroom, all 3 of us in this room, and with these little headphones on and tissue wrapped around the headphones, because I sang so quietly. They had to have the mic up really loud and everything would feed back, and Paul smoking and lighting his his cigarettes in time with the music and stuff like that. So it was incredibly intimidating, for me, being quite shy and having to sing in front of them in this small space. But it's quite a special time as well.
Is that how that record was mostly made, in that very sort of intimate setting?
Yeah.
Wow.
So funny.
How'd they find you? How did you become part of the group?
Yeah, well, so it's my friend from college. She was working at this reception as a receptionist, and the courier who would deliver there invited her to a party. And she didn't know him very well, but this is like, I've been invited to this party in Greenwich, and I don't know the guy very well, so come with me. Well, she said, actually, like, here's the address. Get there for 11 p.m. because I don't want to be there stranded with this guy that I don't know very well. So she gave me the address, and I turned up at this house party at 11 p.m. as requested to support my friend, and she didn't turn up until midnight. So I get to this house party early, and the only two other people that were in the living room was Ross and this guy Justin. So we got chatting, and I had this drum kit. I used to play drums, not very well, and I said got chatting to Ross, and somehow was just it's like, I've got a drum kit, if you want I can sell it to you. So we exchanged numbers, and I got the number of Justin, and we started dating, Justin and I. And then he told Ross that I could sing, because they were in need of a singer, because the singer was Paul's girlfriend and they'd split up.
Oh no.
So they were in need of a new singer. So Justin said to Ross, and Ross was skipping on Justin's floor in Hackney in East London. And he said, yeah, Skye can sing, And I'm like, why did you tell him that for? I can't sing. What are you doing? So I had to go over to their flat in Hackney. I took my guitar, and they liked the sound of my voice, and they played me a couple of songs, and it's like, well, I can't sing like her. She was more sort of soulful and quite loud, and it's just like, but I could sing it like this. And so, it was, I think it was a song called Coal, which is on Who Can You Trust? So I sang it more in the style that you hear it on the album. And then we wrote Trigger Hippie. That was the first song that we wrote together.
So it was kind of kismet in a way.
Yeah, exactly. That was the summer 1994. And then my son was born November 95, and then the album came out April 96. First of April.
So we are almost exactly 25 years on then.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Isn't it? It's just mental.
Yeah, I know. It's so strange to think back, especially because you guys have released basically 10 albums, you on 8 of them, but 10 Morcheeba albums over the course of 25. I mean, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of material that you've made, and it's just, I imagine it can be sort of mind-blowing if you let it be, to kind of think back.
Yeah, I guess it is. I mean, it is. What blows my mind is that I was pregnant recording Who Can You Trust, and now that child that I was pregnant with is the Morcheeba drummer.
Oh, that's so funny.
I know. That blows my mind.
Oh, that is a trip, isn't it?
It's mental.
Oh, well, I'm sure he knows.
Yeah.
So I had not realized that you joined, and then Who Can You Trust started to be formed 2 years prior in 94. And I did look up a few sort of big records that were coming out at that time, because the mid 90s was kind of this explosion of dance and trip hop and kind of electronic elements being fused with rock and pop elements.
Mm-hmm.
So just to name a few, I mean, 96, besides Who Can You Trust, had Beck's Odelay, the Fuji Score, Stereo Labs, Emperor Tomato Ketchup, an Aphex Twin record. 95 had Post from Bjork and Max and K from Tricky.
Wow.
Portishead's Dummy, it was in 94. Sade's Love Deluxe was a couple years before that. So it was kind of just like this explosion of sound like that. Do you remember hearing any of that? Like, were you a music fan at that time?
Yeah. I mean, definitely Portishead.
Mm.
And I remember like being in Hythe. So Hythe was where Ross and Paul grew up, and I remember being down that way in somebody's house. I think it was a friend of Justin. It was my boyfriend at the time. And I just remember getting stoned, just being really out of it, hearing that album, just like, which is just brilliant. And of course, yeah, the Fugees, ooh la la la, and yeah, Beck. That's just mental when you kind of read it out like that. All that music came out at that time.
I know, all these sort of classic records in a
Yeah,
very short span of time.
absolutely.
And Morcheeba is sort of known, and always has been known, to my knowledge, as being a group that sort of fused a lot of different sounds and influences. I mean, I think you guys are very often labeled as a trip hop group, or you were.
Yeah.
Which, nothing to be ashamed of being a trip hop group. Portishead's great.
Oh,
But, on Who Can You Trust and on the next few albums especially, there was jazz, there was R&B and tropical music and pop and dance. I mean, was there a conscious effort to blend sort of different sonic ideas, or did you guys just sort of let it be whatever it was going to be?
I mean, for me, I grew up with my parents. They listened a lot to country and western music,
Mm.
and then my older sisters were more into R&B, which not the R&B that you hear today, and more soul. And then another sister then got into reggae, and then of course then Paul was into hip hop, Ross more into his psychedelic rock, and so it just worked out that way. We fused together all of the different types of music that we liked, and that's why it was always hard hearing us, when we were called a trip hop. But I know that, people need a label.
Mm-hmm.
But what kind of music do you do then? And it's, rather than reeling off, well, it's a bit of this and it's a bit of that, it's a bit of this. It's easy to say trip hop, but when you listen to Who Can You Trust and you've got a song that is just vocals and a string quartet, it's like, that's not trip hop. So, and then you've got your kind of more bluesy, slide guitar,
Mm-hmm.
little instrumental tracks. So, so it was, but yeah, it's fine being called trip hop. It's sort of like an umbrella, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say trip hop is sort of, it seems like a bit of a catch-all sort of term. It's kind of like, is there some kind of electronic? Is there some kind of drum? Maybe there's a record scratch somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to call it trip hop. But trip hop, even Portishead's music, trip hop, Tricky's music, it all kind of is many things.
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm.
It is sort of an umbrella term.
Yeah.
So you did quite a few records with them, but then, as you did mention, you departed the band for a little while. 2002's Sharango was the last record you did with them until 2010. So you said there were two in between there.
Yeah.
Getting as specific as you want to get, what led to that break?
Well, we just didn't like each other. That's that's it. They didn't like me, I didn't like them.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't like each other much either. So I was, we did our I mean, I remember being in the studio. We were just in like mastering Charango, and Paul said, like, I'm done with Morcheeba. I just want to take a 5-year break. I don't want to do this anymore. I want a 5-year break. And I remember sort of thinking, shit, what am I going to do for 5 years? Okay, maybe I could, go off and do a side project or something, And then we did, so that was it 2003 or 2002? That was 2002. And then 2003 was like a big year for us. We toured China, first band to tour China in, venues where people were allowed to stand up. And we played Glastonbury, headlined I think it was called the One World stage at the time, or the Jazz World stage. We played Hollywood Bowl the same weekend. We did a show in Trafalgar Square, the first time they'd ever had a show in Trafalgar Square in London.
Wow.
And then that was our last show. And I remember then going, on holiday around Scotland with my family and getting a phone call from our manager saying, oh, it's over. I'm like, okay, which was a relief, because I was thinking, shit, how am I gonna leave these guys? How am I gonna say I'm leaving? It's like, if Paul's, sort of effing off for 5 years, then I'm not gonna just hang around. And then so yeah, our manager said, yeah, it's over. But they're going to continue as Morcheeba. I'm like, oh right, so it's over for me then.
Oh no.
Okay then. So I thought, like, it's over as in we're all going to just take a break from each other. But no, it was just they continued as Morcheeba. But I heard that they wanted it to be, well, Paul wanted to replace me on Fragments of Freedom, but he was talked out of it. So, so why? I mean, just I think egos get in the way sometimes, and it's just like I always saw us as a team, and but Paul didn't see it that way, I guess. So we
so it just got sort of toxic in the end.
Yeah. Just yeah, it's a shame. But
so then what led to your return?
Yeah, so they asked me to come and sing on a couple of songs for Dive Deep, and I'm like, why would I want to do that? It's like, no way. You guys hate me, don't you? And I hate you guys, so why would I want to come back to that? So I just said no. And my manager, who's still their manager, tried to talk me into it. It's just like I've not seen them in a number of years, and then they want me to just, I just didn't want to do it. And then, so that album came out. They got Judy Zook to sing the track instead, and then the next album came around, and they're like, actually what happened was I was in a meeting with Brendan, who's our manager, and I came out of the office, and there's Ross across the street, and just like, oh my God, Ross is there, like, and I ran in the opposite direction. I thought, this is 7 years later, so I haven't seen him in 7 years, and it's like, I should just go and say hello. So I just took a deep breath and like, hey Ross, and we just said hi, gave each other a cuddle, and it's like, we should, why don't you come out for for a drink? And it's just like, oh, maybe, yeah. And then again, managers like, they want to meet you for a drink, why don't you do it? And it's just like, I just don't want to. And then my husband Steve was just like, you should meet them at least for a drink, just to see what they've got to say. And we met up, and it was fine. We had a laugh, and thought, yeah, we could make some music together. But and then but again, it was really tough, and I had a lot of arguments with my husband over it, because it's just like, I don't want to go back to Morcheeba. Why would I want to go back to that? And it's like, it's been 7 years. We can, people change, and you should do it, for the legacy of the band, even just just do it, So eventually he convinced me to rejoin, and to sing on the album. And we started writing some songs together, and so that was for Blood Like Lemonade.
Mm-hmm. Was it, do you think that was the right decision? Like, was it a good atmosphere? Was it any different?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, initially they were like, we've got this guy, he's our bass player, and he's singing some of the songs, and it's just like, it's kind of like going back to your old house and sleeping on the couch instead of like, I want my old bedroom back as well, man. And he's like, and if I'm going to be sleeping in my old bedroom, I want my husband with me as well. So it's like, that was part of it. It's like, Ross is like, whatever we can do to accommodate you. So, I sang all of the songs, and we wrote some new ones. And my husband Steve, who was the Morcheeba bass player, was invited back to be the bass player, and it was brilliant. The first show that we did was in Switzerland, and it was just so much fun to be back on stage with Ross. And Paul didn't enjoy touring, so he decided he wasn't going to be part of the live side of things, and that made a huge difference. So we were all happy on tour, and just both. It was brilliant, and it's been great, and it was great for a long while. But Paul became more and more dissatisfied, and so decided that he would leave. So that's what happened in 2014.
And when you came back and started touring and sort of getting back into that Morcheeba groove of your life, did you feel like it had changed? Did it feel better than it had before you left?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've all grown up, and we all have more of an appreciation of each other, and Ross was just a lot happier. So he moved to Los Angeles when the band when we went our separate ways, shall we say. So he moved out to Los Angeles, and started a new life there, and then returned to the UK, and married Amanda, who was the singer on Dive Deep. They have 2 children, and that's just it's just a changed man. So it's just it's wonderful.
And now you feel like you're putting out your best work.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's we're both sort of happy and settled, and we're on the same page musically, and we both love touring. We just love, like, when our booking agent says, oh, we've got, like, it's a grueling schedule, we've got like 5 shows in a row, we're like, okay, you had me at grueling. It's like, let's do it. Which is just great, and just having a great team of people, band and crew. When you've got everything right, then it's just it's really easy.
It's nice when you enjoy touring, especially so, as you say, so gruelingly. I mean, you guys have toured everywhere, and you've been doing it for so long. It's nice that you still enjoy it and look forward to it.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it can be, if you've got like one bad egg, then that can sort of ruin everything. So we've kind of learned our lessons. I mean, I'm talking about crew now. If you've got people that aren't, if there's somebody that can be a diva, then that can sort of upset the balance. So we kind of know not to be walked over by the backline tech, just because we didn't have, this is just so funny. One of a backline tech that we had, it's no longer working with us. We were doing a private show in Russia, and we were put up in this 5-star hotel, and everything's marble and the chandeliers everywhere, and it's just you don't get it that often, so you kind of you can really appreciate that kind of thing. And I remember coming down for dinner, and the backline guy was absolutely fuming, pacing the floor, trying to get the attention of the receptionist. And I'm like, what's happened? What's the matter? And he's like, I can't believe it. New towels. I'm like, what? And he's like, new towels. So he was upset. There were brand new towels in his bathroom, because it's like, they're new towels, they're too fluffy, and I can't dry myself properly. It's like, oh my God.
I can't fathom being in this sort of palatial, beautiful marble hotel and complaining about that.
I know. It's just insane. So
that must have been a bit of a wow moment. Okay.
Wow moment. There was a few of those before, I thought, hang on a minute, this guy has got to go. He's just, there's no divas in the band, so it's just it's time to go. So, but we've sorted that out, and
oh, that's good.
So yeah, it'd be great to get back to that and meet our tour family again. That would be lovely. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody again.
I know. I hope once things open up even more, you guys can then open up your tour even more.
Absolutely.
Do you I feel like Morcheeba doesn't actually, or hasn't toured the US very often.
Yeah, well, we have
okay,
plenty of times, but I'm trying. We was there 2019.
Oh, okay.
Sure of it, yeah.
Oh, there goes my dog.
I'm sure we try and hit America as often as we can. But having said that, it's, not like how we used to. In the early days, we'd be 3 months on the road around America and going to all of the little places in between. But now it's just okay, San Francisco, LA, Seattle.
Sort of just the big places. Yeah,
exactly. Because it's just it's so costly. And back then, the record company was always sort of, they were funding it, and then we were poor, but we were touring constantly and putting in a lot of work then. I just remember doing morning radio, college radio, drive time radio. We would do in stores at the local record shops, and just go around thanking them for hanging our posters, and meet and greets before the show and after the show. And so I think it really paid off, all of that, all of the time that we put in, that people remember us. And when we do play in America, then the fans and supporters always come.
Yeah, I can imagine myself being in a scenario sort of like yours, and I would get nervous, about people's being there, that relief that I would feel. I would feel quite relieved to see that they're still there, that they're still there for us.
So that's how I feel now. It's because people's attitudes, mindsets have changed somewhat. There's a lot of fear of crowds, and you can get used to being indoors and not seeing anybody. And so it's not, it's not a fear as such, but it's like, are people going to want to come to gigs indoors? Are they going to feel, how is it going to work? People still going to be nervous, the social distancing and the, you know, are people going to be expected to wear masks? And it's like, I mean, even, you know, so my daughter she just turned 6, and, you know, when it's somebody's birthday, they're not allowed to sing happy birthday. They're not allowed to sing in class, because that's, you know, propelling air and you know, they're not masked up at that age. So you know, it's like, will people be allowed to sing at, you know, do they all have to wear masks, and you know, that kind of stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what a gig looks like in 2021.
Yeah, it will. And it will be interesting to sort of see the evolution of it over the next 10 or 12 months.
Yeah.
What that looks like.
Yeah.
So then, we've mentioned it numerous times. I mean, this is the 10th Morcheeba album, and I'm presuming you and Ross have no intention of this being your final Morcheeba album.
No.
So what does keep you guys going? What keeps inspiring you to work together and make new music?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, you know, we like each other.
That's much better than we didn't like each other anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we just, you know, like creating music, and, you know, I love, it's like a jigsaw. I love, you know, piecing a song together, and, you know, creating a melody, and trying to, yeah, you know, write lyrics that, and subjects that I haven't talked about before, which is not easy, because it's so easy to kind of like, you know, I'm going to write a love song, but I don't want to use the word love in it. How do you do that? So, you know, it's just a nice little challenge. It's enjoyable. It's our job as well. It's like, you know, it's just, I couldn't really imagine doing, you know, anything else. I mean, I sew. I like sewing. So, but you know, sewing as a career, I couldn't really imagine doing that.
Do you have any ambition to put out more solo work?
I would like to, yeah. So, you know, I'm always, you know, when I'm writing poems in those sort of wee hours when I can't sleep, then, you know, maybe they'll develop into songs. You know, my husband and I are always talking about, oh, wouldn't it be great to do an album with, you know, such and such, or take a year out. And this would have been the year, actually. I mean, if we were allowed to travel, then, you know, we would have gone to California and met up with some friends out there and recorded an album, a solo album. That's probably how it would work, you know, just move the family out there, and that's kind of like a little kind of thing that always keeps sort of coming back to us. Wouldn't it be great to live in Cali and hang out with our friends that live out there, and go to the mountains and the desert, and just, you know, record music. So maybe in a few years' time, we'll see.
Yeah, when all the dust sort of settles.
Yeah.
Well, I will mention again, the newest Morcheeba album comes out on May 14th. I'm not 100% sure if it will be out when this airs, or if this will air right after it's out. But if it's out and you're listening to this, then go listen to the album.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for talking to me, Skye.
Thank you for talking to me.
I appreciate it so much. It has been such a pleasure. I really appreciate you taking the time out, especially at such a late hour, to talk with me about.
I can't see, like, I haven't got my glasses on, but
don't worry, it's late. You can go to sleep now. I won't keep you any longer.
Brilliant. Excellent. Well, have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your day, and you know,
yes,
good luck with the teaching and the schooling. And
oh, thank you. Yes, and good luck with the album. I'm sure you're excited. It's coming out so soon.
absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
So we've got a new video coming 2 for a song called Killed Our Love. So, that's really exciting for everyone to see that. So it's the same video director, that we've had for all 3 videos. So it's kind of like a trilogy. It's kind of, they're sort of linked, in a really subtle way. So, yeah.
Well, that's exciting.
Nice.
And I can't wait to hear the rest of the album.
Oh, man, you haven't got it, of course.
I didn't even hear it. I wasn't going to ask for it. I wasn't going to be like, and also send me the album.
Yes. I just thought Ross would have sent you like a link and then we could have talked about it and stuff. But now you're going to have to wait.
Yeah, I'll wait and I'll play it on release day. Don't worry.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that. Excellent.
Yes. And thank you so much again for talking with me. It's been a
nice
pleasure.
One. Brilliant. Alrighty. Take care then.
Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.